Hi, I'm John, and this is How to Be Human. I'm late with my upload again, but this time I won't apologize. You see, I've hinted at this before, but lately things haven't been okay. I have a lot going on in my life, and I'm realizing that I need to do something about it. Life can be hard. Sometimes we grieve the loss of a loved one or a relationship. There are times when others don't live up to our expectations. And there are times when we don't measure up to our expectations for ourselves. In this life, you will face trouble. And I know something that can help. Therapy. This is probably not the first time that you're hearing about therapy, but you may not understand why it is that so many people are willing to walk into a room and discuss their feelings with a complete stranger for 45 minutes or an hour. You may even think that the whole idea is kinda strange. And if we're gonna discuss the importance of therapy, then we have to discuss the stigma that goes with mental health. Our society is consistently perpetuating this myth that your value is determined by your level of productivity, and that you must be a strong, well-oiled machine in order for said value to stay consistent. Historically, people have often scoffed at others for seeking help with navigating life's many difficulties. Some folks think that psychotherapy is for weaklings who lack resilience. But what if I told you that all that was a lie? Don't believe me? I don't think it's a stretch to say that for many of us, when we see a toddler, we have the urge to smile. They are awkward and goofy. Most of their parents' time goes to keeping them from killing themselves. But it's miraculous to watch those little guys navigate the world and experience new things. However, they have got to be some of the most unproductive members of our society. In the best case scenario, their families pour into them and help them to grow up to become productive citizens of the planet. But the best they can do in return is a poorly drawn family portrait where dad is a squiggle and mom is a rhombus. But most of us would say that little Maddie or Aiden has value, not because of what they do, but because of who they are. A person, a human being. And that means that their value predates their ability to be productive or to contribute. On to my next point of dismantling the stigma that surrounds mental health. Any of you ever had a sports-related injury? It sucks. Here you were on the field doing your thing, and then all of a sudden, snap, there goes your ACL. The pain is severe, but the realization that all you hope to accomplish this year isn't going to happen, that really stings. The doctor comes into the room and tells you your options. You can leave the ligament torn, but the pain will likely get worse. Who needs knees anyway? Or you can undergo surgery and physical therapy. You choose the latter because you're determined to be your best at the start of the next season. The road ahead may be grueling, and there will be pain ahead. But you are committed to not staying as you are, broken and enfeebled. You're going to recover. Honestly, if it weren't for comeback stories, I probably wouldn't even watch sports. But the metaphor is too good. We all agree that some things in life just take the wind out of our sails. Sometimes you don't see the right hook coming and it stuns you. Life is hard. And when you get knocked down, the most important thing you can do is get back up. Repeat after me. Mental health is health. Mental health is health. One more time. Mental health is health. Going to the therapist is just as important as getting that ACL rehabbed. Sure, you could go on living with the pain, but why do that when you could get back on the field and enjoy doing your thing again? Therapy gives you language from which to process life. Now, back to that toddler from earlier. Every parent loves watching that little guy grow. Watching them learn to walk is fascinating. They are literally doing experiments with physics. Watching them learn to eat is awesome because we no longer have to feed them. It's less work for us. But hearing them figure out how to speak is arguably the best part. Why? Because language is so useful. Language helps us to communicate our wants and needs and concerns. It's the ultimate survival tool. How awesome is that? You just gain this tool in your arsenal and it helps you to survive. Like in video games, when your character goes from using a stick to a machine gun, how much more effective are they now? Have you ever been to an event where there's a large crowd of people and you couldn't see over them? One way to see more clearly is to get closer to the stage. Another way is to seek higher ground. Voila, that's therapy. Your therapist isn't existing in the same context as you are. Your emotions or past experiences may obstruct your view of the real reason you're here. But your therapist can give you a boost to help you rise above the conflict and see the issue for what it truly is. Therapy is empowering. Last year, my wife graduated with her master's in social work. She had worked incredibly hard and I was really proud of her. But while sitting in the auditorium at her graduation, I was struck by the other people who were walking across that stage to get degrees as well. All of them were pursuing a career in altruism. Their goal was to empower people to make it through the hard stuff that life throws at them. How beautiful is that? And that's what therapists do. They don't take away your problem. They help you to learn to cope or resolve the problem. It's like teaching a man to fish as opposed to giving him one. And while that may seem hard, it only sets you up for future success. Sure, there's a lot of stigma with mental health. But guess what? Mental health is health. It's foolish to struggle for the sake of struggling. Therapy works, guys. You will be better for going. But I want to be transparent about this. Therapists are people, and you may not find the right one for you immediately. But the important thing is to keep trying because it's worth it. You aren't weak for seeking help. Quite the opposite, actually. You are strong and brave and wise for doing so. Life can be so hard sometimes, and sometimes we aren't prepared for what it throws at us. But part of getting back on your feet and ready for the next fight is the willingness to accept help. And I think that asking for help is a large part of learning how to be human. Therapy. It's a huge help. I have been going to a therapist for some time, off and on. Whenever life gets kind of hard, I like to check in and get some perspective. I talked to a lot of my friends about this, and the stigma can be scary. I think everybody fears being judged as weird. But the truth of the matter is most people could benefit from going and checking out a therapist, from gaining some perspective, from learning some new language to process life's hard stuff with. I definitely have benefited from it, and I'm grateful for all the therapists out there. So, speaking of the hard stuff, I think I'm gonna start talking about just like the common thread that links all the videos I've made up to now, which is that it's kind of some hard stuff we're dealing with, but I think it's worth it. So look forward to the next video where I will likely be revealing a new piece of my set that speaks to that. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment. I kind of want to know how you guys have benefited from going to therapy. Obviously, I think it's pretty neat. So anyway, thanks, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.